everyone, welcome to the very first episode of How Are You Really? This is Melissa. I'm with the host of the show, Dr. Faryal Mallick, and she's going to be hosting it moving forward. But before she starts, we wanted to have like a introductory podcast episode recorded where we're going to have like a open conversation what she wants to bring to this space, her journey, her story. Hi Dr. Malik, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm going to start with your introduction. Dr. Malik is a highly respected psychiatrist with expertise in journal, child and adolescent, and forensic psychiatry. Dr. Malik is triple board certified by the American Board of Psychiatry and Neurology in journal, child and adolescent, and forensic psychiatry. Her extensive training at Emory University, the University of Florida, and the University of Louisville, combined with her experience in various settings, including state hospitals, jails, acute inpatient units, residential units, and intensive outpatient programs, makes her a leading voice in the field. In recognition of her outstanding contributions, Dr. Malik has been deemed one of Tampa's top doctors by 2024 by Tampa Bay Magazine and one of Tampa's elite doctors of 2024 by Tampa Style Magazine. So, in this podcast, Dr. Malik will guide us through the meaningful conversation, the challenges, the stigma around the mental health. We will be inviting both psychiatrists and therapists as guests to the podcast to educate, raise awareness, and fight the stigma against mental health. So, whether we are discussing the latest psychiatric treatments, the complexities of mental health in today's world, or personal stories of resilience and recovery, How Are You Really promises to be both enlightening and inspiring. So, my first question for Dr. Malik is, can you tell us about FMP Mental Health Spa? What's the vision behind it? What are you hoping to achieve with it?
Yeah, so FMP was originally created as FMP Family Psychiatry, where I was practicing psychotherapy and medication management, which had children, adolescents, and adults, basically families. And I was noticing that I was suggesting my patients to do yoga, meditate, hydrate, drink enough water, and, all kinds of just holistic mind-body care. And they were not doing it. They would go home and they would not go anywhere to do these things. So that kind of inspired me to open up this space, the mental health spa, where, different healers can come and offer their services, which are related to mental health, and they help promote mental health. For instance, yoga, sound bath, we've got assisted stretching, we've got IV hydration, we've got an infrared sauna, we host events, which are like very artistic. So we had like a candle making event, and we have a build your own plant event coming up for Earth Day. So that's basically the concept behind it, so that my patients, but overall the community at large, has a space where everything is offered under one roof and they can come and take advantage of that. Also, the mental health spa decreases the stigma, because people hear psychiatrists or therapists and get very anxious and don't want to take care of their mental health, or don't want to be affiliated with it. But the fact that we have, different modalities to take care of your mind, the hope is that people will be more open to taking care of their mental health overall.
So, for the people who are not familiar with FMP, what makes it different from other mental health? I don't want to say clinics, mental health centers or spa. What makes it different?
Yeah, so I actually have not heard any other mental health center or facility call themselves a spa, but the idea kind of originated from med spas, which provide external care, kind of like massages and fillers and facials and all of that. So taking care of your outer beauty. And I wanted to create a space that took care of your inner beauty. And that's why I called it a mental health spa. And the hope is that people will come in here, get a spa-like experience, and, leave feeling better about their mental health.
So we hear about mental health all the time. So, what does mental health really mean to you? How do you take care of your own mental health?
Yeah, so the services that are being offered at FMP are the things that I do for myself. So they're kind of tested and by experience know that they help. So three things that I refuse to kind of give up are my own therapy, my fitness, and the third thing is assisted stretching. And now a fourth thing has been added to that is attending sound baths. So these are things that I do literally to take care of my own mental health. They bring me peace. They release a lot of tension, stress, trauma, and help with the burnout.
Mhm. I agree. So another question is, what are some of the common struggles you feel like people face when it comes to the mental health? Or if you tell people, like if I tell my friends or in my family, like you need a mental health help. So what do you feel like people struggle the most in that case?
So I think the biggest struggle is the stigma related to mental health. If we go back and look at the history of mental illness, words like insane asylum, mental retardation, you're crazy, these kind of words come up and they really stigmatize people that actually need the help. And, they're not really falling under those categories or those words. The definition of those words don't define the people. And so, because of all this stigma and these very negative words, people feel ashamed of seeking mental health. So, that is one of the purpose of being here today, and also the mental health spa, so that people will be able to come take care of their mental health or have enough education and awareness that this is not something to be stigmatized and nothing to be ashamed of.
Because I know people feel hesitant about taking the medication when it comes to their mental health because they worry about the side effects. They feel like, oh, this is something I'm going to stuck with. So, what's your approach towards that? And like, how do you go about it if they need medication or?
Yeah. So, first of all, I always tell my patients or anyone that walks through the door is that I strongly believe in taking care of your body to help your mind. And I strongly believe in therapy over medication. And so, I always let people know that my goal is for them to be on no medication or the least amount of medication that they need. So yeah, I mean, I always let people know that, even medication is not going to be permanent unless it's absolutely needed. And also kind of reminding people that this is still part of medicine and your overall physical health as well. So if you had high blood pressure, you would be taking the medication for the rest of your life if you needed it. And in the same way, if you need it, you'll take it for the rest of your life, but there is chances that you can come off of it once whatever the episode of depression or whatever it may be passes. As far as side effects are concerned, I mean, unfortunately all medication have side effects and some people experience them, others don't. So kind of like being aware of what the side effects are and if the side effects will be tolerable enough for the person to actually, the benefits kind of are like outweighing whatever the side effects are. They can tolerate the side effects for the benefits of the medication.
So, if you can walk us through the services that you guys offer at FMP Mental Health Spa, like if you can talk to us about one of the services you feel like people don't know the benefits of, and it can actually benefit them a lot.
Yeah, there's a couple that come to mind. There's sound bath. One, it's not a bath. And then the second is assisted stretching. So my experience with assisted stretching is longer. So I'll kind of go into that. People love getting massages and feel like it's a lot of stress relieved. I used to enjoy massages. At some point I had a massage therapist that would provide assisted stretching to me during the, massage session. And that really helped me realize that helped release a lot more muscle tension, stress than like the massage itself did. And so when I moved down here to Tampa, that was like the first thing I looked for, what are the places that are offering kind of like an assisted stretch. And that's how I ended up like just kind of utilizing that service. We all carry stress up here in our shoulders. For me, I sit down a lot, so I carry like stress and tightness in my hips. So all of that being released, yes, you can stretch yourself, but when somebody assists you in stretching, it's a completely different experience. It opens up those muscles and releases all that tension, and the tension you may be carrying from just trauma. But
Was natural.
yeah, yeah.
So my another question for you is, what does the phrase fostering mental peace is?
Yeah, so FMP stands for Fostering Mental Peace. And the idea is that happiness is not the goal, right? When you're taking care of your mental health, happiness is not the goal. Happiness is an emotion, just like sadness is or anger is. And we don't want to make that the destination. That should be just part of getting to mental peace, which should be our destination. So if you're at mental peace, even if something sad happens and you feel sad about it, that's okay because overall you're okay. And so that's where that, phrase kind of came from. And the fact that like here at the spa, we're kind of offering things that will bring you mental peace. And also not to like kind of forget that this is not just for my patients, it's for the community at large to come avail these services. They don't have to like
Yeah.
be seeking psychiatric care or therapy to be availing all the other services that will help.
So how should we like make it easier for people to understand like mental health or going seeing a psychiatrist or a therapist is not like a stigma kind of a thing. It's not a bad thing. So my question is, anyone can outgrow his or her psychiatrist or therapist ever, or they're gonna stuck with her psychiatrist or therapist forever?
Yeah, absolutely. So I always tell my patients that you can outgrow your therapist, and that's very important to keep in mind. We already talked about medication, right? The medication doesn't have to be forever unless we recognize that coming off of it was not a good idea and you have to go back on it. Then it's like a blood pressure medicine. You might have to take it for the rest of your life. But as far as therapy is concerned, yes, you can outgrow your therapist. There's different therapy modalities, and one therapist can bring you to a certain point in your life. And beyond that, maybe you need a different kind of therapy, or you're doing well and you don't need like a weekly therapy session. And so that's important to let everyone know that they're not going to be stuck with this forever. And then also, either recognize and discuss with your therapist, do I need a different modality of therapy from here on out, which may be the case, or you decide, okay, I'm doing very well. And so now I just maybe need to check in once a month and, and even longer for after longer periods if you're doing well.
So you see patients from ages 6 to 64.
Actually, 4 to 64. Hopefully, I don't see a lot of 4 and 5-year-olds, but yeah, all the way as young as 4 to age 64.
So is there do, do you see like people who have kids, how they go about the therapy for their kids, or like do they struggle like accepting the fact that, oh, my child needs a therapist, or my child needs a help with mental health? So do you feel like
Yeah,
parents need some
absolutely.
education?
So yeah, so this is one of the problems is also the fact that parents are a different generation than the children, right? And so the stigma has stuck with our generation more than the younger generation. They're more open-minded and accepting of mental health problems. So that's where the family psychiatry comes in, right? You cannot see a child or adolescent without their family being involved and their family getting therapy regarding whatever the diagnosis is. I think is very important. It's hard for people to understand why my child is behaving this way or why they're feeling depressed, especially if they've not dealt with it themselves. And so that's an important part of it, to educate the parents, provide some support to them, and make sure that they are providing the environment and support that their child needs once they have a diagnosis or any issues.
How do you like tell them about the services that you offer for them, like sound baths, infrared sauna? Like, what's your approach? Like, these are, like, I would say, tender extensions for the mental health, you know?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I have had people that have come in for evaluations and have not really needed therapy or medication, and just kind of need like some sort of overall support and something to avoid burnout in their day-to-day life, right? People think that we'll go take a vacation and we'll feel better. It's the daily hustle that's causing this, but you go take a vacation, you come back, and then you're right back into that, routine again. And the burnout comes right back, right? The stress comes right back. So recognizing that that is the issue, and then like kind of incorporating things that like, the extensions of mental health, like you said, like the sound baths and like it's the stretching and yoga, meditation, all of that, kind of incorporating that into your daily life. So you're taking little mini vacations through a week, and they're just part of your routine is where the key is. And yeah, I mean, of course, I have had patients that I have said, hey, I don't think you need therapy. I think you just need to add these, things in your life to help you maintain like kind of like the peace, mental peace.
This is really promising. Okay, so my last question is for someone like who is struggling right now in their mental health. What's the one piece of advice you want to give them? Like, they don't know who to talk to, where should they go, where should they start?
Yeah. So it depends on where they are at. Obviously, if you're struggling to the extent where you're having thoughts of self-harm, you want to contact 988. You can text them or call them, and you can always speak to them anonymously. You want to reach out for help in that case. If it is something that on a daily basis is stressful and is, you're contemplating seeing a professional, but you're not quite there yet, there are several free online support groups that you can join for whatever it is that you're dealing with, and get the support you need. Realize and recognize that there are other people struggling with the same issues that you are, and then from there recognizing how bad it is, and just kind of like seeing what your peers are doing. Seeing a therapist at that point or a psychiatrist may be the right way to go, so you can get evaluated for what your actual needs are.
My last question would be like, why you wanted to start this podcast?
Yeah, so I'm like super excited about this podcast. So first, a name, right? How are you really? I think like as Americans, we ask each other, how are you? And everyone just said, good, how are you? Right? That's our, typical response, even if we're not really doing well. And we're not completely answering the question. So how are you really is what we want to kind of focus on. That like, what are you struggling with? What are the issues that are going on? And so that's kind of like at the heart of the podcast. But the purpose then becomes educating people, informing them what to look out for when they're not feeling good, and educating not only just like people, but also other mental health providers within, our mental health community. Then also kind of raising awareness and dropping the stigma, right? There's so much stigma involved around mental health that, seeking it is shameful and crazy if you're getting help. So that kind of awareness is important, that there's nothing wrong with seeking help for yourself. And basically the podcast will hopefully help educate people so they are not resisting getting mental health help.
Yeah. It's just like the way of reaching to more people to make them understand like there is no such stigma around mental health, you know. And you know what? This is free and they can get all the insights from all the professional from the same field, from all the psychiatrists and therapists, you know.
Yeah,
What else?
absolutely. It's not going to be medical advice, but definitely it's going to be educational, right? To raise awareness, to kind of look for the signs and understand what different mental health problems are. And then I believe a lot of the guest speakers are going to be talking about their own struggles to just kind of show that we're all human, right? We have had our share of struggles too, and how we managed it and what we recognized and how we help other people struggling with similar problems.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mallick, for sharing your story and insight. I am super excited for this podcast, and I know you're going to be the best host.
Thank you.
So, for everyone, for if you guys have enjoyed listening to us, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on social media. I'll put all the social media handle links under the description box below. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, you guys can reach out to us on our social media. If you guys wanna reach out to Dr. Mallick directly, just reach out on our Instagram or on our email address. Is there anything else you want to say, Dr.
Just
Mallick?
that, I mean, if people have suggestions on what they want to, learn about or hear
Yeah.
about, we're absolutely open to suggestions so that we can find guest speakers that will focus on that particular subject.
Yeah, and it's going to be very like open conversation. It's not going to be like the surface level, answers for you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I enjoyed the introduction. It was really good. I
Good.
hope like people enjoy our podcast. This is like a very small effort that we are putting in for them to get the awareness and education around this subject, mental health.
Yes. And thank you so much for hosting today, Melissa.
Thank you. Okay, guys, we'll see you next time. And you guys gonna see Dr. Mallick next time for sure. Bye. Stay.